Hi, good evening, YouTubers. I'm gonna do you a rendition of a personal dish I like, originally from the island of Barbados. So here on my stove, you're gonna see a list of ingredients that I'm gonna use for the dish cocoa on flying fish. It's originally used with flying fish, but I currently live in Canada, so flying fish is out of the options. I have here is some red herring that I stripped and have in a bowl with some water soaking to take some of the salt out of it. I have chopped onions, sliced onions, green peppers, garlic, coarse sea salt, cornmeal, okras in the distance, and a pot on the other side there that you can't see in the distance there, that loose pot, has 3 cups of water. And I'm going to show you how it is done my mom's way. So the pot with the 3 cups of water, I'm going to place into this empty saucepan that I have here on the heat. I've added it to that pot. And I'm going to let it come to a boil. So guys, as you can see here, my saucepan of water has come to a boil. What I will now do is add my teaspoon of coarse salt into this water to boil. While that is boiling, I'm going to add I don't have fresh okras, but these are some okras that I bought from the store, freshly bought, and I cut them and freeze them to preserve them so I can use them at a later date. I add this to the water. So as you can see from this video, guys, the okras are added completely to the water and I let it come to a boil. So as it comes to a boil, it's going to create like a slushy, slimy effect as the okras discharge the nutrients from them while they're boiling. This same slimy slush, I'm going to separate the pieces of okra from to make my cocoa. So I'm going to let this boil for maybe 5 minutes or so. I'll continue the rest of the video. Okay guys, so the cornmeal is a bit coarse because it's dry and it is a bit difficult for some people to cook, all who don't know how to deal with it. So what I do, or my mom would do, she would add some cold tap water, which is about a cup, to it. And stir it and let it sit till you're ready to add it to the okra slush to help enhance the cooking of the cornmeal. Okay guys, I'm back. Thank you for bearing with me. So what I'm going to do is I have a spoon here, and what I do is I remove the slices of okra from the slush, because I don't want them to cook too much, into this container on the other side. And what I'm going to do with these after I finish taking them out and I'm left with the slush alone is we add them to the cornmeal as it slowly cooks and it gets to the texture that I need the cocoa to be at. And I would be able to see my okras nice and symmetrical in the same form. So I'm just going to remove as many of them as possible from the water. So guys, this is what the okra slush looks like without the okras bits in it. It's very sort of slimy in a consistency, and that's what you want to do the second part of the cooking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some of the liquid out of this container that I'm using, because I have to be adding it to the cornmeal as the cornmeal slowly cooks to get it to the consistency I want. So I'm going to move it from here into this container over here. As you can see guys, it looks like oil. but it isn't. It's just really good. I'm going to put this bit back on the stove, not a lot. And then I'm going to add my moist cornmeal that I pre-soaked already to the mixture. And then I'm going to start to stir to keep it from sticking on averagely low heat to prevent burning. Okay guys, so I'm going to put it on 3. So let's go. So guys, you see me here stirring it to make sure that it doesn't stick to the saucepan I'm cooking it in. And as you see it dries out, the liquid is out of it, then you add more water. Well, not more water, but more of the okra slush to keep it pliable or movable and cooking at the same time. The old people in the islands, or from my island, usually used to do it with a wooden stick that is called a cuckoo stick. I don't have a cuckoo stick here in Canada, but I'm using my trusty old wooden spoon. Works all the time. As you can see here guys, it's cooking, and I slowly have to be adding all the time the okra slush to it all the time, because as it cooks it gets thicker and you have to keep reapplying water to it to get it moving. As you can see from the videos guys, it's thickening up. That's when I add more okra water again to it, and I keep stirring till I see it cook completely. Guys, and this is what it looks like. The more the cornmeal cooks, the more lighter the texture becomes in like a soft yellow. You don't see the gritty grainy part of it. It is really nice. Look at that guys. It's cooking beautifully. I'm gonna add the last bit of the okra water to it and let it cook out. And then I'm going to re-add my chopped okras. At this point guys, I've dropped my heat to simmer low because I don't want it to be burning, because on a high heat it's going to continue to stick to the saucepan. As you can see, if you look in the bottom, you'll see it sticking to the saucepan. So we don't want it to burn. Consistency like this or a little firmer is beautiful, because you know that when you're ready now to do your gravy, to have this with, it's going to be awesome. It's supposed to be buttery and creamy like you would have your cream potatoes or your mash. As you can see guys from the video, my consistency is not lumpy or anything like that. It's nice and smooth, and it does not crumble, because this is the correct consistency it's supposed to be. I'm going to let it cook till it firm a little more, and then I'm going to add my okras over there back into this batch. Okay, now guys, I'm going to re-add my cooked okras that I separated from the slush back into my mixture. And I'm going to gently fold it without breaking them, because you're not supposed to break them up so much. You can break them up if you want to, but I always love to see my okras in my cuckoo. I always like to see the consistency of the shapes and so forth in it, because it makes me feel like it is an original home cooked grandma style cuckoo. And that's the end of it guys. Voila, my grandmother style cuckoo. So now we're going to go on to the next part of the dish, which would be my red herring sauce. So I'm going to cover it now till I'm ready to go back to it again. Okay, back here to the kitchen, guys, and I'm back with y'all. I'm going to put in what I consider my portions of 2 teaspoons of olive oil into my frying pan. Might be a bit too much, but I hope not. I'm going to give it a good swish. Good swish in there. And then here is where it becomes fun. So move these awesome ingredients over to me as that oil heats a bit. And I'm going to add in the good stuff. So here on this plate, I have green peppers, onions, garlic, and over there, because I had no tomato and I'm going to substitute the tomato for the red pepper, I'm going to add red pepper in place of the tomato. So as my oil heats, swish, 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 swish. Going to draw below me, get another wooden spoon, bam, here we go. And let's get cracking with this. So as my oil heats, I'm gonna add me my chopped onions. Awesome song. Love the sound of sizzle. Then my garlic. So professional I am at this. One hand cooking. There we go, garlic. You all into this connection. Yeah, wow. There we go. I'm gonna stir that around in there too. Oh, if you can smell this kitchen, guys, it smells awesome. And there you go, guys. My onions are getting a little golden crisp. Them and the garlic. I'm gonna also add my sweet pepper. Here we go. And that's it in there as well. My last part of the onion is so when this simmers, I could see my chunks of onion still existing in my original plan. Okay. So let that get a little caramel there some more. YouTubers, bear with me. So like I said, I had separated my red herring and soaked it in some water just to take away some of the salt from it, because if you don't do that, it's going to be a bit salty. And I'm just simmer down a bit more. I'm going to add this here to that there, and then I'm going to season it. So here we go, guys, and that's what the red herring looks like. Voila! And it's in there. So I can crank my heat up now because it has some liquid in it and it's not going to be too much. While that there's simmering, I am going to add my ingredients from my trusty kitchen. So what I have here is a bit of garlic plus, because I don't have the original thyme and marjoram and all that stuff that I would have home. I could probably get it from the supermarket here, but it's a bit of a hassle. So I get something that has all the familiar ingredients that I would use in this stuff if I was home. Go to open it up. For this here, I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of this flakes. That's about a tablespoon. I'm going to stir it. I'm going to stir it there, guys. Here, some paprika. And for this, I'm going to add also 1 tablespoon. I don't have my measurements out, but I cook a lot, so I know what my measurements are by hand. Voila! That's it. And I'm going to stir. I also have with me some garlic onion Maggi cubes. I'm going to take one of these cubes and I'm going to add it to my mixture as well. So this is what it looks like. This little small thing is going to be added as well. This is my mixture of turmeric, curry powder, and chili. I'm going to add a little of this as well. As you guys could notice, I have not put an ounce of salt into this concoction because all the things I would have added already have the addition of salt included. So I'm just let this simmer before I add my last bit of onions and red pepper on the side. Okay guys, so I'm resuming here now with a small scoop of, can't believe it's not butter, small teaspoon. Here guys, small teaspoon. Small teaspoon, and here we go, small teaspoon. Go in there. Stir, stir. Close that back. Now guys, I'm not a big fan of ketchup, but it's supposed to be added to this whole little boil down here. So what my substitute is for ketchup, because I hate ketchup so much, I'm gonna use me some Diana barbecue sauce. What is the difference? It's still the same thing if you really ask me, it's just without all the acid. So I'm gonna add some of this to help thicken my stuff up and let it simmer on a low heat. Here we go, darling. You two stirs. You hear the bubbles start to get a little silent because you know that it's getting a little thicker. And as those little green things in the bottom cook up and get mushy, it's gonna get a little more thicker. So just let that simmer aside by itself till I'm ready to have my cuckoo later. Okay guys, so this is the last part of my little tutorial. It's thickening up. I'm gonna add the rest now of my onions for shape and my red peppers for color. So guys, this is the last part of it. Another quick tip for plating and get perfect plating. You would usually use the oils from the sauce to put into this empty bowl here that I have, but I don't have any oils, enough oils in it right now. So I'll use a little butter, swish it around the bowl. Swish it around the bowl like this. And now I'm going to serve my cuckoo. So what I'm going to do is get a bigger spoon and I'm going to scoop it. As you can see, it's still soft and pliable. Like this, guys. And old people would tap it like that, just to let it settle. And they would take a bowl that they're not using, or they're gonna use to serve. And you see the old people do like this, and then they would just turn it upside down like that. And that's how you get a perfect serving of it without it looking all over the place. You would see them use a spoon and they would dip it like that, and you put your gravy directly in the center or around it. And that's the end of my tutorial for today on the Bajan way of having personalized granny cuckoo. And that's your finished product, guys. As little or as much gravy as you need to get it finished eat. Amen. Guys,